my friends, welcome back to a special edition FlossTube video. My name is Liz, my company is Hello From Liz Mathews, and today we are going to be chatting about my fall season cross-stitch plans. This is the second time I've done a seasonal plans video. I was way late with my summer plans, and I'm maybe a week late with these fall plans, but in all honesty, it does not feel like fall here in Maryland yet. I think it's 77 today, so maybe with doing this video, I am ushering in some beautiful fall weather. I am so ready for it. And I have gone on and on my regular FlossTube videos about how much I love fall, so it only makes sense that I am very eager to bring you the lineup that I have selected to cross-stitch this fall season. As I mentioned in my first seasonal plan stitching video, this video is definitely not the first of its kind. I'm sure there are several people out here who arrange their stitches by season and like to plan at a very high level, not unlike myself, for each season. I am also a knitter, and seasonal knitting plans videos are some of my favorite to watch, so I just decided to bring that to the cross-stitch world with this series. I do plan on doing a Christmas and winter plans video for you, so more on that as time rolls on. But as I again mentioned in my first video, I don't intend on finishing any of these. Maybe, fingers crossed, that might happen, but these are all intended to just be starts, and I am not someone who's watching my number of whips. In fact, I'm really enjoying adding to my whip pile, so though I am limited here with what I'm going to share with you today, I am all for the new starts. They make me so happy, and if that's what makes you happy too, I hope that I can encourage you to do your very own autumn stitching list and share it with me, share it with us. We would love to see what you're stitching. I love, just like you probably, when fellow floss tubers or stitchers on Instagram introduce me to a new pattern or something that had kind of escaped my mind. Maybe it's not a newer release, maybe it has been out for a while, and I just love rediscovering and discovering new pieces. So I tried to be very realistic making this list today. I went back and forth, like, be realistic, Liz, or just go wild and have fun with it. So I landed somewhere in the middle, and I have 4 autumnal starts that I would like to make. When you see what I selected, you will very much see these are not plans to be finished this season. These will stretch probably years, if I'm being totally honest, and I am taking into account that this is the very most busy season of my life for work and for my business. I'm getting ready for the Jingle Ball, the winter season. I'm working, so pleasure stitching kind of does take a back seat when it comes to my cross-stitch life this season, but I don't care. I love fall, and I like making plans. We chatted about that in that first video too. I am a planner through and through, so thinking about this for the past month, maybe more, has been really fun. I am also limiting it to 4 because I do, as I just mentioned, plan on squeezing in a Christmas stitching video. And the autumn season technically runs from August 22nd to December 21st. And we all know that before December 21st, I'm going to have Christmas stitches. That is a given. So this is going to be a kind of abridged season, yet I still have 4. That's okay. No rules in cross stitch, you do you. So we are going to dive into the 4 pieces I have selected to at least get a start on. What do you guys consider an actual start? I've heard so many different ideas of what qualifies for a start, and again, no rules. I've heard like 1 length of thread. Some people consider in a larger piece a page finish is what I was gonna say before I cut myself off. So I'm not sure exactly what my starts will look like, but I will share them in my regular FlossTube updates that I am going to be trying to do a little more regularly. If you're curious what I have accomplished from my summer stitching plans, you can check out floss tube number 103, which I filmed last week, and see where I have gotten to with all of those. But for now, let's focus on my favorite season, Halloween. And I'm going to start with the biggie. I just shared on Instagram the thread lineup for this piece. It is immense. But you will see why when I share with you my first piece that I would like to start this autumn season is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. You know it, you love it. The Hawk Run Hollow series has been around quite a while. This was published in 2017, and it joins about 10 other Hawk Run Hollow pieces in this series. So let me give you a close-up really quickly. This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This is a collaborative design between Carriage House Samplings and Kathy Barrick. If you didn't know, Kathy Barrick is my mom and Carriage House Samplings is my Aunt Marty. So this is staying in the family here. My mom, who originally owned Carriage House Samplings, designed several of the Hawk Run Hollow patterns to get the series started. And then when my aunt purchased and moved into the role of designer for Carriage House Samplings, she continued it and came out with the more recent Hawk Run Hollow editions. Then my Aunt Marty and mom got together and collaborated on Halloween, and because I think I've been hearing the words and the names and the patterns for Hawk Run Hollow for so long, probably the past 25 to 30 years since my mom came out with the first Hawk Run Hollow, I think I kind of became oblivious to their fabulousness. Does that make sense? They've been in my world so long, and I've seen mom making charts and seen the model for so long that I did not even register how fabulous they are. So I've heard people talk about them and stitch them on floss tube, and it's only recently that I think I finally opened my eyes to how cool it is, and it quickly jumped onto my autumn stitching wish list, start list. I'm not wishing, I'm starting. You'll see, I've got this baby kitted up and ready to go. This piece is so beautiful, and one thing I love about this chart cover is on the back side there is just an oversized image of just the stitching, no frame, no extra, so you can get a really good look at what this piece will look like. Now this piece is big. This falls into the category of taking me years to complete. You can see why. I think each block is 92 by 92. So this is not a small piece, and it will take quite a while to complete. I am playing around in my mind with how I would like to stitch this. And in fact, I think I am leaning towards stitching each of these 92 by 92 blocks separately. Now, the witch block right in the middle is obviously 2 blocks put together, so that would be a little bit bigger. But the idea of having this huge daunting piece, which finishes at 371 wide by 278 high, slightly overwhelming if I'm being totally honest, but can you imagine an easier piece to break up and do little by little? And I think that's what I'm going to do, frame them or finish them as pillows, just individual blocks. What I also like about that plan is that I can go to whatever my favorite block is and start that one right away without needing to build to get there. I am also thinking, though not leaning this way, about doing an abridged 9-block variation. There are a couple blocks that I love more than others, and I thought I could rework it to be a little smaller, but why? Why am I trying to do that? I think to make it less overwhelming, so to get to that end, why not just stitch them separately, which is how I'm leaning, I think. So I don't even know what my favorites are. I try to pick and I can't. So if you have never truly given Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow the look that it deserves, please do so, because You guys, it is so cool. I'm leaning down here. That swamp, have you ever seen a swamp in cross stitch before? But don't you want to stitch it? This train tunnel with the ghost, the bones, like, it's so good. Okay, clearly I love it, and it should be on my autumn stitching list. So I pulled, to stitch this, a piece of vintage country mocha. Just basic. This is 36 count, except I am now thinking, just as I'm talking to you, that I might want to order some 32 count because I'm finding it just so much easier to work on /see. Now I'm already a 2 thread over 2 stitcher on 36 count. I love the coverage of 2 threads. So it's not going to change that for me. I would still be 2 threads over 2 on 32 count, but it just might make the process on my eyes and easier on my eyes and a little quicker. So I might place an order for that today. I don't know. Maybe I can see this. What I like about this color is that it has good contrast with the white threads, because there are a couple places in the chart. Ooh, but look at that. Does it have good contrast with this? I'll have to examine. There are a couple places on the chart where there are ghosts maybe or bones just on the background fabric, and I want to make sure that that will show up well. So I need to do some more inspections, but I think as long as this cream isn't unbordered, does that make sense? I will be okay with this fabric. So stay tuned for that. This is probably the one I want to get started the most, so it won't be too long. I have to show you this color palette. I have a friend, I don't want to spoil too much. I have a friend who may or may not be starting this piece too. And we may or may not have gotten together last week to card up our threads over a glass of wine and just good girlfriend time. And this palette, oh, it's hefty. I mean, that is kind of classic Kathy Barrick Hawk Run Hollow, because how do you achieve such beauty on such a huge piece if you are not using a full palette of threads? So I went back and forth on this. Check out this thread list. There it is. Whoop. It was originally stitched with NPI silk thread. And I went back and forth and thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the NPI. And then I was like, no, I'm going to do the DMC. So I made a trip to Michael's. I pulled all the threads. I was short maybe 3. You'll see some empty spots on my thread cards. And I got to checkout and I was scanning, you know, do self-checkout there, like boop, 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 boop. And then I realized I forgot my wallet in the car. No, I forgot my phone with the coupon. You know, that Michael's coupon that's always there that you should always use. And I almost was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I don't want to run back to the car, just ring it up. And then I saw the total and I was like, no, I'll be going back to my car to get my phone with the coupon because this is a thread list. These are all layered up. Like, this is 3 deep. These threads are gorgeous. There are so many of them. So make sure you bring the coupon with you. Don't leave it in the car. And maybe you would like to do the NPI. I'm going to live vicariously through you because stitching with NPI silk thread is such a joy. But for me, and the amount of time it's going to take me to actually use all of these colors, I thought that DMC was the way to go. And I had so much fun with my girlfriend kitting this up and getting everything carded the other night. What I used are these Tim Holtz, oops, I'm holding too many things up here. These Tim Holtz Ideology Halloween 2024 strips of paper. So these are just, if you're curious, these are just strips of paper that I used my hole punch and punched down one side and hung all of my DMC from. I, of course, had the Halloween themed paper, which seemed like it was just meant to go together. And that is how I did my thread cards. On the back, I've simply written the DMC thread number, and I will pull and use these as needed. There are so many. Look at this. I just love how it goes from like the blue cool tones that I love. We have all the autumnal reds and oranges. It's a gorgeous palette, and it's not often that you get to pull so many threads and put them together. Okay, have I gone on long enough about how much I love this piece? I also just want to point out something really nice about the charts are that each block is charted separately. So it's not one big massive chart. You get a separate page, which is highly legible for each one of the blocks of Halloween and Hawk Run Hollow. And I'm going to assume that every Hawk Run Hollow in the series is done the same. And also, please note that the symbols for the colors change on every square chart, the chart for every square, to make them all highly legible, which I think is so much care and attention to detail and just deserves a little call out, because the amount of work that goes into it, that's not little. So I am super, super excited. I still don't know where I'm gonna start. Stay tuned. That's happening soon, I think. Okay. We have 3 more to discuss. The next one is a Hello From Liz Mathews pattern. And this is actually something I have started. We are a week into fall, so I did get started, I think, on the first day of fall. And this is a pattern called Crisp in the Fall. It's actually a collection of 5 different patterns. I just talked about this in FlossTube 103. If you watched that, this might be familiar. But this is a design collection that's available in my Patreon membership now through October 15th. So make sure you get it before then if you see this and think that you want to stitch it too this season. They are available just for 1 month before they go back into the vault, before they're generally released in a year or 2. So in 2027, you'll be able to get this again, but if you're looking at it and wanting it, please don't delay. So this collection is rearrangements of this really beautiful urn with oak leaves and acorns, and the verse by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall. It's one of my favorite fall time quotes. And there are 5 iterations or combinations of those motifs. There is this piece, which is designed to have the bands going into the frame or the seam of the pillow, however you choose to finish it. Then there are also just simple urns and left justified and tall justified. I don't know how you say, stretched, elongated versions of the same thing. And this is the piece that I cannot wait to get stitching, this version, because I have actually already stitched and finished the small urn. Again, we talked about this last time, but I love how it turned out. I love the colors, and I want to stitch more. After doing this very quick stitch, which only took 2 days, I am really, really eager to get that double banded verse in the center piece going for this autumn season. I think I'm going to finish it framed, or I'm going to finish it as a pillow. I guess I am really up in the air, and we'll see as I work on it. But here is the small urn and why I am keeping this piece on my fall stitching list. It was really, really fun. I stitched it on latte linen from Fiber on a Whim. I used 36 count with the 2 strands of NPI silk thread. There is a DMC conversion, and you can get all of the details on the info page and on my membership. But I am just going to continue with this color palette and keep working on Crisp in the Fall because it's adorable. It's just quintessential fall, and I really want that piece hanging in my house at the turn of the calendar on the first fall day every year. So crisp in the fall, it's staying. Now I do have another new start for you. I feel like there should always be a Prairie Schooler on the go. Spoiler alert, this is a Prairie Schooler chart. I love Prairie Schooler. Not only do I love their designs, there is just a sentimentality to them that brings me back to when I was a young girl stitching, like, we're talking like 1993, 1995. And they are just so comforting. I am a collector of the cardstock Prairie Schooler charts. This is how they are in my mind, in my memory. I had a whole collection of Prairie Schooler charts when I was stitching as a young woman, and I have no idea what happened to them. They got passed along, maybe they got donated. It breaks my heart to say that. But I have rebuilt my collection over the past couple years, and they just bring me so much joy. Even if I never stitch the chart at all. I mean, there are some Prairie Schoolers that I hesitate to say don't speak to me, that are not my style, but I still have the charts and I still enjoy them, and it is my long-term goal to have the entire collection, so one day. But today, for my fall stitching plans, we are talking about book number 3, published in 2001. This collection includes 3 different charts, and it is called Harvest Time. Prairie Schooler put out a couple different patterns that all had 3 very similar looks to the patterns, as in, like, I think they have a Christmas version of this. You know what I'm trying to say. This is very autumnal. They have a Christmas version, they have a spring version, and I love all of them, but there is just something about this top one, this Autumn Village, that is calling my name. So that is what I plan to stitch. I'm trying to keep that light enough for you to see. I just think it is perfect and calling my name. So I have not fully kitted this piece yet, but I did pull my fabric. This is going to shock you for all of the reasons that I just talked about the fabric for Hawk Run Hollow. This is going to shock you. This is a 40 count fog from Picture This Plus. This is a piece of fabric that I have left over from my patterns for the Days of Christmas series, the 12 Days of Christmas. And all of the sampler versions of the 12 days were stitched on 40 count fog linen from Picture This Plus. And I do love it. I love the coloring, and I think it will lend itself very well to this Prairie Schooler chart. What's going to be very different for me, and what is subject to change, is the fact that I can only use 1 strand of thread on 40 count fabric. That is very typical. And I'm worried that I am not going to get the color saturation and the color payoff that you see and that I love so much in this pattern. I feel like so much of this pattern is about the color, the foliage, the beautiful autumnal scene, and I just want to make sure I can capture that in thread. So if the one thread is not giving me that look, this might all change, but I'm really excited to get going on this. I don't think, and this could be my mind playing tricks on me as it likes to do, that it is that large. You know, only 178 wide by 75 high. Tiny. Okay, so that's my mind playing tricks on me. It's a little wide. It's not too high. So we'll see. I will be in the next couple days making my working copy of this because, as I've told you a million times, I am still a paper and pen stitcher. I highlight, and there are no digital options for Prairie Schooler charts. They are all paper. So I will make my working copy and get my threads pulled for this. I tend to not change or alter what the Prairie Schooler thread list is. I like to stay very true to it. So I would bet a trip to Michael's is in my future. I mean, I might have them in stash, but I think the reality of me finding them right now is going to take way longer than just going to Michael's and picking up the thread list. Oh, that is a thread list. Okay. Maybe I'll be finding them in my stash. Though I do need a couple more for Hawk Run Hollow too, so we'll see. So that is where I planned on leaving things for my fall stitching list. My fall stitching plans, I should say. But I had another piece that I just could not stop thinking about. And that's when I was like, toss reality out the window. Let's just make plans for what we love. And this might be controversial because I don't know that it's necessarily autumnal. In fact, it's called Pleasures of Winter. And then I remembered that the fall season actually runs until December 21st, as we discussed. And you could very much have a snowy scene before the end of technical fall. So I'm including it in this list because I can't stop thinking about it, like I said. Let me show you what I am talking about. This is a Dimensions kit. I am a Dimensions cross stitch lover. I think they are so beautiful. They are so much work. I have only ever completed one small ornament that took such a long time, but I have several Dimensions kits on the go. I just love the look of them, and I know they are not everybody's style, and that is totally fine. Remember, no rules in cross stitch. You have to do what you love. I happen to love them. And this piece just spoke to me from the first time I saw it. I should have looked this up. I think this is no longer in print, and I may have gotten it on the secondhand market, which just feels like a treasure hunt if you ask me, and it makes me want things even more. So I did get my hands on this, and let me tell you why I see this as autumnal. It is because there is what is this? This is not a pyramid because it's a cone. A cone. There's a cone of hay over here with pumpkins peeking out the bottom. There's hay and like a plaid blanket in this horse-drawn carriage. And there is something about these ducks flying in the air that is just giving me all the very late autumn feels. So I'm gonna go ahead and include it in my list. I hope that if something speaks to you that way, you do the same. And take a peek again at what I was talking about. It's really over here. See those pumpkins and those ducks? I just love this so much. So I'm putting it on the list. And I can promise you that my start on this is going to be meager. Heck, my start on this might only be sorting these threads and picking out my fabric because I am not an Aida stitcher, and that is what's included in this kit. Though what I might do is a little bit of work soaking this Aida in water with mild detergent. I'll do some research trying to get the stiffness out of it, because if I can get the Aida soft enough, I could use this for this piece. I don't know if I necessarily need to substitute, but as you know, when you pull out the threads from a Dimensions kit, or maybe you don't know, let's do it. They require a little work. I apparently have opened this once. This is always shocking to me. You can kind of start to see why I have this reaction every time. Look how much thread this is. Okay, it's not going to be a quick stitch, I'll tell you that. Look at that. So, in all honesty, this fall season, it might just be sorting and organizing this, but look how pretty those colors are. So this is a tentative plan, but this is the throw caution to the wind Liz speaking, and we'll see where this one gets. The other three are absolutes, and this is my wish list. So that is what I have come up with. There are so many good autumnal and fall patterns out there. I selfishly would love to know what's on your list. Like I said, I just love discovering new things and seeing all of the beauty that is there in the cross stitch world. So that's what I chose, and I will be back again with my Christmas stitching plans video, and I will keep you in the loop on how all of these things are progressing in my regular floss tube. But I very much appreciate you spending some time with me today. Let me know if you make your own list, and as always, happy stitching. Bye.